Boy sailing down a river uncovers a treasure that changes his life forever. But before we start, please make sure to subscribe to Did You Know and hit the bell so you never miss an upload from us. Also, leave a like right now. Picture this. You're walking down the street when something out of place catches your eye. As you get a closer look, you realize it's something very valuable, a rare baseball card or something. You can't help but smile wide because your day just went from ordinary to extraordinary within seconds. Sounds too good to be true, huh? While one boy was sailing down a river in Austria, he spotted something odd floating in the water. Naturally, he submerged himself for a closer inspection and soon realized he'd stumbled across something far more precious than your typical river debris. The Danube River is the second longest river in Europe, and it cuts through 10 different countries, including Vienna, the capital of Austria. As one young Austrian boy discovered, the river sometimes contains much more than just water and fish. It was early in the morning when the young boy and his father went sailing down the Danube. It was a scenic journey that they'd taken dozens of times before, and the weather was perfect for an enjoyable day on the water. The duo cruised along the calm water, waving to other boats as they passed. Not long into their journey, however, the boy told his father to slow the boat. He saw something odd floating in the water nearby. As they maneuvered the boat closer, they were still unsure about what the mysterious objects were, but they could tell they were little bits of paper of some kind. No one was in the immediate area, so where could they have come from? Under the supervision of his father, the boy jumped into the river to gather up all the paper. There seemed to be hundreds of rectangular pieces. As soon as the boy finally grabbed one look at it, he screamed out to his father. There, floating in the river all around the young boy, was a plethora of cash. After the boy was finished gathering all the money, he and his father made an important phone call. The boy's father contacted the local authorities. The police were quick to respond, and they too were amazed at the boy's discovery. This was a lot of moolah to find floating in the river. Austrian law states that when money is found and turned into the authorities, the finder gets to keep 5 to 10% of the total amount, assuming the money isn't linked to illegal dealings. And this young boy found roughly $115,000. The police weren't able to link it to any criminal activity, and once the money was brought into the station and completely dried, the boy and his father received their cut, $11,500. That boy and his father sure were lucky that morning, but believe it or not, they're far from the only people who have ever come across something valuable. In February 2018, Florida resident Robbie Robinson had quite an eventful day. Robbie owned his own pest control business, and one afternoon, while he was traveling to a client's residence, he saw a large bag lying on the side of the road. So he pulled his truck over and peeked inside. Robbie's jaw dropped as he stared down at stacks of cold hard cash. There was also a bank receipt in the bag with the address of the bank where the money had recently been withdrawn. Robbie immediately headed to the address on the receipt. As soon as Robbie told one of the bank tellers what happened, they couldn't believe how honest he was. Most people would have kept the cash and never said a word. Robbie snapped a picture of the bag before he left and posted it to Facebook, hoping the rightful owner would eventually claim it. Soon enough, a man named Robbie Lewis saw the post and immediately responded. The sack of money was his, he said, and he'd been a nervous wreck ever since he lost it. Soon enough, the rightful owner got his money and both men rested easy. Those two stories seemed almost too good to be true, huh? Well, then you'll find this third instance even more unbelievable. Joe Cornell of Fresno, California, was going about his day in early 2014 when something startled him. As he was walking to a local deli to grab lunch, he saw a Brinks armored truck parked in front of the bank. Police officers loaded up the back of it with sacks of cash. He thought nothing of it until the truck drove off, and there on the curb was one remaining bag that was never placed in the back. Joe was the only person who noticed it, so he walked over and opened it up. Sure enough, it was full of $125,000. Now, it certainly crossed Joe's mind to possibly take even just a small bit of the money. However, Joe was trying to turn his life around. He was living at the Salvation Army Adult Rehabilitation Center trying to kick a drug habit. And now that his honesty was being put to the test, he was going to ace the exam. Joe picked up the bag and brought it directly into the bank. The bank employees were shocked such an oversight was made during the loading of the truck. The Brinks Company was so thankful for Joe's honesty that they rewarded him with a $5,000 debit card. Joe Cornell, much like Robbie Robinson and the father and son from Austria, chose to go the honest route when it came to their discoveries and were rewarded with instant cash karma. But just imagine making a discovery like these guys did without ever leaving the comfort of your own home. Old houses can be fascinating places. Sure, as an owner, they may be a struggle to maintain, but if you're willing to put in the work, buying historical property tends to be a valuable investment. Renovating a house that's been around the block can reveal all sorts of surprises, usually not for the better. When a Cleveland resident finally decided to remodel his basement, he knew that there could be a lot of unexpected variables to deal with. However, that didn't stop him from trying to make his project a reality. The 35-year-old lived in a very old home, passed down in his family for generations. He was well into the remodeling stages when he stumbled upon something quite unusual. While taking apart the ceiling, he realized one area did not look like the rest. Curiosity quickly got the best of him, and he decided to remove the panel in question. Hidden inside was something totally unexpected, a green suitcase. He then grabbed his camera and started documenting this unusual discovery. Before snapping another picture, though, he decided to let his wife know what he had found. She was fascinated. They went back down to the basement together to find out exactly what was inside the mysterious luggage. Though the suitcase wasn't particularly heavy, it didn't make the couple any less curious about what it could be hiding. Here, they used a toy banana toothbrush for infants to show its unique size. The case was made almost entirely of metal and was secured with an old rope. After the man took some more photos, it was time. He cracked it open and was surprised to find a few neatly wrapped packages. Trying to contain his excitement, he went through the contents slowly and carefully, even taking inventory of each item uncovered. The bottom of the box was lined with old newspapers. One of them went back as far as March 1951. As for other packages, well, the man did his best to keep his hopes in check. He didn't want to let elaborate fantasies of what could be inside deter him from the excitement of the discovery itself. Finally, he opened up the first package, and with one peek, his visions actually came true. He showed what he estimated to be $1,000 worth of $20 bills to his wife, who was standing by. But that wasn't the only surprise waiting to be found. The next package was stuffed with about $5,000 worth of $50 bills. They expected to maybe find something worth money, but not this much actual cash. Questions quickly sprouted in their minds on what they should do next. Inside of their own home was a box full of cash just sitting in their basement. Who knew how long it had been there? The last package contained perhaps the best treasure of all. Underneath it all was a stack of $100 bills, a gold certificate, and star notes, currency that has been misprinted, that never circulated. It was a historian's dream and a plucky treasure hunter's motherlode. The man and his wife knew they were in over their heads, so they called a lawyer right away to have the box appraised and learn about how the law could impact their find. The man could have taken the money and claimed it as his own, but he wanted to be responsible. He realized that the money may not legally belong to him, and he didn't want to end up on the wrong side of things. In the meantime, this man went back to remodeling his basement, where he discovered yet another box stuffed with about $10,000. The couple couldn't believe it, and the lawyer had some news that would make all of these discoveries even more exciting. It was concluded that the money, all of it, $45,000, indeed belonged to the man and his wife. The money was an amazing godsend to the couple, who used the cash to pay for their mortgage, with the intention of buying a new one in a more rural area. When this man started remodeling his basement, he expected that it was going to cost him a small fortune, but it wound up earning him one instead.